Today I'm going to give my comparison between the Google Pixel 6 Pro and the Vivo X Note. Love both of these devices. Now the Pixel 6 Pro was released in 2021. The Vivo X Note was released in 2022. So they're only a year apart. Both are flagship devices. And also both are unlocked for all carriers. Now, first thing we're going to talk about is the presentation. Now, there's really nothing to talk about when it comes to presentation. Vivo X Note clearly has a better presentation than that of the Pixel 6 Pro. With the Pixel 6 Pro, you basically get nothing in the box except, the charging cable. That's it. So there's no unboxing experience. With the Vivo X Note, you get a beautiful presentation. Now I'll leave that video up here, my unboxing and first impressions. You'll see that for yourself. You got a case, headphones, an 80-watt charger. The presentation was beautiful, the way consumers are supposed to be presented when they're spending this much money on a flagship device. Vivo did it right. So when it comes to presentation, Vivo easily destroys the Pixel 6 Pro. Next, let's talk about design. Now, of course, design is always going to be subjective, but both of these phones have a beautiful design. Now, let me just take the case off the Vivo just real quick so you'll get a better look at the design. Not much different on the Pixel, but to be able to see them without a case. Both have beautiful designs. I can't pick one over the other. I like them both evenly, so I can't say this one has a better design than this one. I like them both evenly. They're both beautiful, and the ridges on the side of the Vivo give you extra grip. This is a matte finish. This is not a matte finish, but you're not going to see any fingerprints on the Pixel 6 Pro. So I'm going to put these back in the case because they'll slide right off the table if I don't. And they're a lot easier for me to handle with a case on. All right. So when it comes to design, I like them both evenly. They both have great designs. Next, let's talk about build quality. Both have Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and in the back. But let me say this. When it comes to how the phone feels in my hand without a case, I definitely got to go with the Google Pixel 6 Pro. This phone feels so just excuse me. It's hard to explain, but feels super expensive and super comfortable. It's not, even though I wish wish both of these devices were a little thicker, but as far as just premium feeling and comfort, definitely the Pixel 6 Pro. Now, the build quality for the Vivo is excellent as well. You got the matte finish. You got these rails on the side to give you extra grip if you decide not to use a case. And it feels premium as well. But it's just something about the way the Pixel 6 Pro feels in my hand. Now, if you have both of these, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. If not, don't worry about it. Both are made with premium materials. Both have excellent build quality. But without a case, I prefer the build quality of the Pixel 6 Pro. Next, let's talk about button placement. Not a whole lot to talk about here, except they both do it very differently. I absolutely hate the button placement on the Google Pixel 6 Pro because they got the power button above the volume rockers. To me, that is stupid button placement, and I hate it. With the Vivo, you got the power button at the bottom where it belongs, and the volume rockers above it. That's the way it's supposed to be. Pixel 6 Pro is Google's the only company I know of that has this button configuration, and it's stupid. And I really wish they would change it because it doesn't make any sense. So when it comes to button placement, I'm definitely going with the Vivo when it comes to button placement, because the button placement for the Google Pixel 6 Pro is terrible in my opinion. Now, if you download this, if you use the the Nova launcher, you can just double tap to turn off the screen if you don't want to be stretching your hand just to get to the power button. So there is a workaround when it comes to the horrible configuration of the buttons with the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Next, let's talk about always on display. So both of these have an always on display. Gonna let both of these time out real quick so you can see them. All right, so you can see both have an always on display. Now, there's advantages and disadvantages to both of these always on displays. Now, if I had to choose, I'm gonna go with Vivo because at least I can customize my always on display. You can't do anything with the Google Pixel 6 Pro always on display. No customization at all. It's always gonna look the same like this, and I hate that. But I will say the advantage of the always on display on the Pixel is that at least, you see that down there, you get your notifications. You're not getting any notifications with the Vivo. I don't know why they decided to do their, always on display like this. The only notification you get from the Vivo is a missed call or a text message. You get no notifications on the always on display. That doesn't make any sense. I hope that's something Vivo changes with a software update, because that's something they can easily change with a software update. So you can get your notifications with your Google, but no customization, no notifications, but you can customize the always on display on the Vivo. Next, let's talk about biometrics. Now, it's not even close on this one either. Both have an in-display fingerprint sensor. However, the Vivo has an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, so it's a little more secure than that of the optimal in-display fingerprint sensor on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Now, I'll start out with the fingerprint sensor. Both fingerprint sensors are flawless. They're excellent. They're great. Okay, both of them. No issues whatsoever with the fingerprint sensor. They're both very, very accurate. However, the Pixel 6 Pro has no face unlock and the Vivo does. So the Vivo has excellent face unlock, which is 100% accurate, and a fingerprint sensor that's 100% accurate. So biometrics is definitely going to the Vivo. Next, both are IP68 water and dust resistant. So that's good to know for those of you that, you have your phone with you all the time, shower, bathtub, washing dishes. You always have it around water, or you're a person that's outdoors a lot, and you could be around water a lot. So it's good to know if you do drop this, you just don't want to drop it, either one of these, in more than 5 feet of water for 30 minutes. So if you do that, you'll be fine. You get caught outside in the rain, you'll be fine. But don't drop it in any depth of water more than 5 feet for 30 minutes. If you do, you're going to have a problem. Next, both come with dual stereo speakers. Now, this one is, I don't know. Both have good stereo speakers, but they both sound different. This one sounds a little, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But both have good stereo speakers. I'll just say it that way. Like, one is not really that much better than the other. They just sound a little different. But they both have dual stereo speakers, and they're both pretty good. I'll leave it at that. Next, let's talk about audio. Now, when it comes to audio through the USB Type-C port, the Vivo X-Note has better sound quality through the USB Type-C port. Google is okay, but it doesn't compare to that other Vivo, in my opinion. Next, let's talk about the display. Now, my favorite thing about any phone is the display. I love the display. Now, as you can look at both of these, you can see they're both beautiful. But clearly, the Vivo X-Note has a better display. Both are Quad HD Plus. Okay, but 1500 nits peak brightness, 777 nits peak brightness on your Google. All right, but let me get into the specs on these displays. Now, with the Pixel 6 Pro comes with a 6.7 inch Quad HD Plus LTPO 120 Hz AMOLED display with a peak brightness of 77 nits. With the Vivo X Note comes with a 7-inch Quad HD Plus LTPO 120 Hz AMOLED display with a peak brightness of 1500 nits. So, you got a 6.7-inch display on the Google, and you have a 7-inch display on the Vivo. Now, for those of you that, for a Vivo phone, it's just 7 inches is way too big. Now, that's okay. 6.7 inch may be the sweet spot for you. Me, I love big giant phones. So this is perfect for me. It's big, it's tall, it's wide. I love it. And it's bright and more vivid. However, the Pixel 6 Pro does have a beautiful display as well, but it's just not bright enough and it's not as vibrant. And it's 6.7. Now, 6.7 inches is not bad. It's not. But I prefer even larger display. But the Vivo definitely has the better display. Next, let's talk about internal storage. Now, oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, y'all. Get myself together here. All right. My bad. All right. With the Pixel 6 Pro, comes with 128 gigs of internal storage. That's the base model. For the Vivo, comes with 256 gigs of internal storage. That's the base model. So when it comes to storage, you're going to get more storage on the Vivo X Note because the standard storage capacity is 256, and they also have a 512 gig variant. With the Google Pixel 6 Pro, there is a 256 gig variant. I'm not sure if there's a 512 variant. I really don't remember. Somebody can let me know that in the comments. I'm not sure. But it's definitely a 256 gig variant. That much I do know. But I'm not sure if there's a 512 gig variant. Next, neither device comes with expandable storage. So if you're a storage monster like me and you need expandable storage, sorry, you're not going to get that on either device. And most devices today don't even come with expandable storage. They don't, except the Sony phones. Next, let's talk about battery life. Now, this is interesting. Both come with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. And I must say, the battery life on both of these phones is great. I can get a day and a half on both. But with the Vivo, I actually can get 2 days if I go light to moderate. With the Google, I'm only going to get a day and a half. Now, if you're somebody that uses your phone light to medium, you may get 2 days on the Google Pixel. Now, keep in mind the way I use my phone, always on display is on all the time. With the display, 100% brightness, which most people don't have their phone that bright. Also, I'm getting all my notifications in real time. I'm using Quad HD resolution, and I'm also using 120 hertz. And I got mostly all the features turned on. Well, with the Google, it's more a software thing, but Vivo does have a lot of different features built in. But I got pretty much everything turned on. I use both moderate to heavy, but I can easily get a day and a half with both. And the standby time on both is excellent as well. So really on battery, and it's going to be subjective, and however you use your phone, everybody uses their phone differently. So don't measure my battery life against yours, okay? Because some people like get in the comment section when I used to talk about the LG Wing, how it gives me a day and a half, and they're like, "You're lying. How could you get that? I don't get that." What you get don't have nothing to do with me. I don't use my phone like you use it. Maybe you got a phone with a bad battery. I don't know. All I know is what the battery life does for me. I can't speak for other people. So for me, easily a day and a half on both. But if I use the Vivo light to moderate, I can get 2 days. Next, let's talk about battery charging speeds. Now, when it comes to the Pixel 6 Pro, Unfortunately, you're only getting 30-watt fast charging, and really that's not fast because it takes about almost 2 hours to fully charge this phone, which is really disgraceful. With the Vivo X Note, 80-watt super fast charging, 0 to 100% in 30 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know why Google and Samsung and Apple are afraid to make their phones faster when it comes to charging. I don't understand what it is. But at least Samsung charges faster than this. You know, OnePlus and all the other manufacturers out there, Xiaomi, Oppo, all got super fast charging, like literally. And Google's, Samsung, and also Apple, they are sadly lagging behind when it comes to charging speeds. As to why, I don't know. I wish I knew. Disappointing. All right, let's talk about wireless charging. Both come with wireless charging. However, with the Google Pixel 6 Pro, you're only getting 23-watt wireless charging, which is extremely slow. You're looking at over 3 hours to fully charge this device. However, with the Vivo X Note, you're getting 50-watt super fast wireless charging, 0 to 100%, 45 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. Next, let's talk about reverse wireless charging, otherwise known as power share. 4.5 watts on the Pixel 6 Pro, 10 watts on the Vivo X Note. Not even close in any of the charging departments when it comes to charging speeds. Vivo blows the Pixel 6 Pro away when it comes to battery charging speeds. Next, let's talk about performance. Now, when it comes to performance, they're even. I can't say one is faster than the other. I can't say one is smoother than the other. They're both evenly fast and evenly smooth. Performance is excellent on both. So when it comes to performance, they're even. You're gonna really enjoy the performance experience on both of these devices. Next, let's talk about RAM management. Now, RAM management is great on both. Google Pixel 6 Pro, 12 gigs of RAM. The Vivo X Note, 8 gigs of RAM. Now, they do have a 12 gig RAM variant, but doesn't matter. 8 gigs is great. And also, you could extend your RAM on the Vivo. So right now, I got it set where I'm using 20 gigs of RAM. Literally, I just added a bunch of RAM to the 8 that's already on there, and now it's 20 gigs of RAM. But you have to have adequate space as far as regular internal storage. And since this is 256, I have the ample storage capacity. You can extend the RAM management on the Google, but you really don't need to. 12 is more than enough, and it's excellent on both. Next, let's talk about customization. Not even close again. Vivo destroys the Pixel 6 Pro when it comes to customization. You could pretty much customize everything on the Vivo. You can customize very little to nothing on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. That's why, if you notice, I'm not using the Google Pixel Launcher. I'm using Nova Launcher because this is the way I want my device to look. I want to use my own weather widget, and I want to have my icons set up like this. I want to turn to the left and I want to see nothing. I don't need the Google feed. Okay, some people need the Google feed. I don't care about that. I want to see my, the way, this changes like this. I like that. Okay, you're not getting that with Google. So, when it comes to customization, definitely the Vivo is far superior to the Google Pixel 6 Pro. I don't understand why Google does not allow their phones to be more customizable when they invented Android. I just don't get it. Even though it's stock Android and all that, this is why I don't like stock Android. It is super boring to me. I want to be able to have fun with my phone. I want my phone to look different than other people. When I open up my phone, I don't want it to look exactly the same. Just like iPhone, everybody's iPhone, when you open up to the home screen, everybody's, home screen looks the same except for maybe a different picture they put in there or something like that. But the configuration overall is pretty much the same. I don't want that. I want to be able to customize my home screen however I want. I want to be able to customize my device however I choose. That's what makes it fun to me. So customization definitely goes to the Vivo. Next, let's talk about operating systems. Bone stock vanilla Android on the Pixel. And with the Vivo X Note, you're using Origin OS. Both operating systems are excellent. Which one do I prefer? I'm definitely going with the Vivo. Even though stock Android is nothing wrong with it, it works great and it's very consistent. But like I said, I like to be able to customize my device, so I'm definitely going with the Vivo when it comes to operating systems. However, the Google Pixel 6 Pro is also very secure, and you will get you'll be the first people to get the newest version of Android and also security patches. So that is the advantage of having a Google device. Next, special features. Now we're going to not go in depth with this because I'm trying to keep this video under 30 minutes. When it comes to special features, both have special features. However, Google Pixel 6 Pro is more built into the software. There's a lot of special features built into the software. With the Vivo, it is built into the software as well, but it's just different. So you can change a whole lot of things and have a lot of different features with the Vivo as well. But for me, the special features that I know that I would actually use is going to be with the Vivo X Note. All the features that, the Pixel has, they're just not useful for me, except only one: the speech to text. The speech to text is just phenomenal. It really is. So nothing out there right now is touching Google when it comes to speech to text. Now I have other phones that you can do speech to text with, but when it comes to 100% accuracy, that's the Google Pixel 6 Pro. But they both have, a good amount of features, but the features on the special features on the Vivo is more useful for me. Next, let's talk about software updates. Both of these will receive Android 15, and both have 2 years of security patches left on them. Next, let's talk about the cameras. Now, to a lot of people, that's what smartphones are about. Now, for me, I'm not heavily into the cameras on neither one of these phones. I love both of the cameras, but I'm not heavily into photography or videography. So I'm not. That's why you don't see me doing a lot of photo examples and comparing this phone to that phone. I don't do that because I don't take pictures that often. Very seldom. Only when I go out with my wife or we go on a trip or a family function. Other than that, I barely use the camera. But for those of you that do, you should know what you're getting. Now, with the Pixel 6 Pro, comes with a 50 megapixel wide dual pixel with laser autofocus and optical image stabilization. You're also getting a 48 megapixel telephoto with 4 times optical zoom and 20 times digital zoom. And also you're getting a 12 megapixel ultra wide. When it comes to video, you can shoot at 4K 60 frames per second and 1080p at 60 frames per second and 7 times zoom. With the selfie, you're getting 11 megapixel ultra wide that shoots video at 4K at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 60 frames per second. So no 4K at 60 frames per second on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. When it comes to the Vivo, it comes with a 50 megapixel wide with laser autofocus and optical image stabilization, 8 megapixel periscope telephoto with optical image stabilization and 5 times optical zoom. Also 60 time hybrid zoom. You're also getting a 12 megapixel telephoto, so you're getting 2 telephoto lenses with 2 times optical zoom and a 48 megapixel ultra wide. Video shoots at 8K 30 frames per second, so no 8K on the Google Pixel 6 Pro, which is not going to be a big deal for most people. 4K at 60, 1080p at 60, and 10 times zoom. So you're only getting 7 times zoom on your video, 10 times zoom on your video with this. And also, when it comes to The zoom overall, you know, at the highest clip, you're only getting 20 times zoom. I mean, I'm sorry, you're only getting what is that? Yeah, no, well, that's with the camera, the video. You're only getting 7 times zoom on your video, and you're getting 10 times zoom. But what on the photos, you can get as far as up to 20 times digital zoom. But over here, you're getting 60 time hybrid zoom. So the zoom is definitely better on the Vivo X Note. Now, with the selfie camera on the Vivo, you're getting a 16 megapixel wide, and you can shoot 1080p at 30 frames per second. So no 4K at all. That's the advantage of the Pixel. You're getting 4K at 30, but you're only getting 1080p at 30 with the Vivo. Now, for me, let me just be honest. Both of these devices come with great cameras. Pixels are known for their cameras. Great image processing and all that. But for me, for my eyes, and my opinion, I like the photo images and the video images of the Vivo X Note better than that of the Pixel. And I definitely like the fact that I can zoom in a lot more with the Vivo than I can with the Pixel 6 Pro. But you're not going to go wrong with either device when it comes to photo and video. They both are excellent. However, like I said before, I prefer the video and the photo quality of the Vivo X Note. So when it comes down to it, which one should you go with? You can't miss with either. But if it was my choice and my money and I only had the opportunity to pick one, I'm going with the Vivo X Note. Because I like the cameras better. It's a bigger device. The charging speeds on the battery are better. The audio is better. The display is better. And I forgot to mention, you get an alert slider, and you get an IR blaster on this phone as well. And you're getting face unlock and the fingerprint sensor. That's great. RAM management is great. Pretty much everything about this device is great, except no notifications on the always on display. So I really don't have any issues with this device at all. With the Google, just not customizable, not features on here that are useful for me, and the display just don't get bright enough. And the battery charging speeds are horrible, presentation horrible. But other than that, great phone, because you're getting great battery life, great cameras, great performance, and this phone is going to get the latest version of Android first, along with the security patches. And the speech to text is phenomenal. So both of these are great, but for my money, I'm going with the Vivo X Note. All right, thank you all for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. Hope everybody out there staying safe, staying well, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.